And now, live from C Nation Studios at Irwin Academy, it's the C Nation Podcast Show.
What's up, guys? Taking it back in the day. It's a song that some of my students made in our first studio, the first C Nation studio. Yeah, some of you might not have known that we had a different studio before the one we had now. Good times, good times. Anyways, welcome to another episode of the C Nation Podcast Show. I am your host, Mr. C, in the place to be, Irwin Academy. And we got something to learn about today. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We're going to be talking about whole tones and why whole tones can help you clean up your tone. Now, before we get started, you are going to need an important tool. I actually have one right here on this mic stand. Some of you might recognize this. This is a tuner. Some of you might be like, oh, it's a guitar tuner. It's a tuner. It's a tuna. It's a tuna. It's a guitar tuner. Okay? It tunes the instrument. La! A. See, because it said A. Get it? Ah! Instrument tuners work by one of two ways. Either they have a microphone and they listen to what is being played, and it tells you if it's in tune or not. Or it feels the vibrations from whatever you're playing, or like how I just did right now, la, singing. Okay? Music is vibrations in the air. When it comes down to the science, it's the air vibrating around us. That's why these tuners can tune just about anything. Now, yes, it works better on guitar, because when you're tuning a guitar, you put it on the guitar, and when you play the string, the whole instrument actually vibrates. And this picks up that vibration, that frequency. Okay? Now, these tuners are great. They're called snarks, like shark, but with a N instead of an H. Snark. Okay? These are $20 over at Rollover Beethoven's. Shout out. All right? These are great. I have one for every one of my guitars. And I have a few here at the school also. Okay, but Mr. C, I'm not at the school. How can I tune my instrument? I don't even have a guitar, Mr. C. What's this about, man? All right, I guess I'm just gonna hang there. Okay, I'm gonna get to that. All right. So, any tuner will work. You don't have to have a snark. Any tuner will work for this. Okay. You can go out and buy one at Rollover Beethoven's. Sure. If you have a different tuner, that'll work too. My lights turn off. Why do my lights always turn off whenever I'm doing this podcast show? Okay, whatever. You don't play guitar, it doesn't matter. A tuner will work for any instrument. It works best on guitars, ukuleles, violins, basses, sure. But if you have a tablet or a phone, there's a free app that I always talked about in the other videos during last school year online. Okay, got my phone. It's called Guitar Tuna. Let me close it and open it again so you can see what it looks like. Guitar Tuna. Right there. Okay? And my computer screen just locked. I don't even know how to spell now. Okay. Since I didn't see if that worked or not, let me do it one more time. Guitar Tuna. Okay? Guitar Tuna. Guitar Tuna. Okay? It's a free guitar tuner for your phone. Awesome, right? Like, you don't really need to go out and buy a tuner now. Now, it's free. It's not perfect. It works. It does the job. Okay? This is going to be a lot more precise than the phone. Why? Because the vibrations that this reads, on the frequencies that this reads, it's more precise than this. Plus, with the phone, it's just using the microphone. Any background interference will mess with your tuning. If two people are playing guitar and one is trying to use this to tune the phone, to tune on the phone, it's going to pick up the other guitar too. See, there's some problems. It's not perfect, but this definitely works pretty darn well. And you can buy these Snark tuners that have both a microphone and it'll read vibrations. I have one. There's a little button that says mic and vib. So I prefer the vibration one because it's more precise. Anyways, get yourself a tuner. I have 2 types of tuners on my phone. This is the one that I use for guitar all the time. Okay? And it'll give you tuning for ukulele, for bass, all that stuff. But I have another one too. And where is it? Oh, INS tuner. This is just a generic tuner. You can't really see it on the screen. Yeah. There you go. It's a little bit better. See, it has like, I don't know if you can really see. There you go. That's better. Okay, it's just a general tuner, and it has a little circle underneath to show you where you're at. Okay, I use this one on my saxophone, and I use the other one for my guitars, or I'll use a Snark on my guitar if I don't have access to Snark. Okay, why do I use this one? Just, it's a different tuner. It's not meant for just guitars. The guitar tuner is going to listen for a guitar and it's going to display a guitar. This is just a general tuner. It's going to listen for any instrument and tune it. Okay, is it better than guitar tuner? I think it's the same. I think that this tuner is better off for my saxophone or a trumpet or a flute because it's just going to listen to a general instrument and it's not going to show me a picture of a guitar. You know what I mean? Have I tried guitar tuner on my saxophone or a trumpet or a clarinet or flute? No, I have not. If you want to, go right ahead. Try it out. Okay? Anyways, I have a saxophone here that I use at the school. And let's see. This is where whole tones come in. All right? I have my tuner. And I'm going to play a note. And I'm just going to hold that note. Not for as long as I can. I'm just going to hold the note for a long time. And I want to keep that note steady. Okay? Here's an example of some of the notes that maybe you want to play. Right at the top, you got a high G, maybe a higher instrument, saxophone or a flute. Maybe you want to play that note. You have a middle C, saxophone, trumpet, clarinet, flute. Pretty much anyone can play that C. But that might be a little high for some instruments. Okay? Then you have a low C on the bottom. Low C, middle C, high G. I didn't put a high C on purpose, okay? Low C, clarinets and trumpets, you could definitely play that. Saxophones, you might have some problem playing that note. All right? I didn't really prepare myself very well for this recording, I guess. Bam. All right. Now we're good. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to play a G, but I'm going to play a saxophone low G, okay? And I'm going to show you an example of an unsteady tone, which is why you would want to work on whole tones. Does that make sense? I'm going to do the wrong thing to show you why you should practice this, okay? And you might be like, kind of like how I first was, honestly. I was like, why the heck would I want to practice this? It's just whole notes tied to each other, making it a long note. What's the point? After I did with it, and after my teacher was pushing me, hey, work on whole tones, my tone cleaned up a lot. Okay? I sound like a complete different saxophone player. And it took me a while to realize that. Okay? So, here is a G. A wrong G. Yeah, I kind of overdid it a little bit. Okay, but you can hear in that tone, you don't want that. So, just like wrinkles in a shirt, you get the iron and you iron the wrinkles out. Practicing these whole tones will help to take those wrinkles out of your sound. Now, this is not just for saxophone players. This is for everybody. Everybody, okay? Over the, I guess, summer break, my son started playing trumpet, and I've helped him become a better trumpet player. And something that he needs to practice, because he doesn't practice it all the time, is his whole tones, because his tone is wobbly, just like how I demonstrated. Okay? So once again, this is what you don't want to sound like. Okay, Mr. C, what's the whole point? Why were you talking about a tuner earlier? Well, actually, when you're practicing your whole tones, keep it on. The tuner's still on. I know you can't really see it. There you go. It's still on. And I have it right here in front of the computer. And while you're playing your note, watch how crazily it changes. Using this tuner to help you with your whole tones will give you something to see instead of just having something to hear. Okay? What I mean by that is watch the tuner while you're holding whatever note you want to play. It doesn't have to be these notes. Play an easy, comfortable note. For flutes, maybe you want to play B flat. Trumpets, maybe you want to play A or an E. Clarinets, why not play a C? Maybe you want to play an E. Saxophones, you get the point. You get the point, okay? But watch the tuner. Let me see if I can set this up. I'm going to play a G, and I'm going to try to hold it up to the camera so you can see my wrong demonstration, okay? You see how at the end I got it to green? That is a steady tone. I was going back and forth between an A, which is extremely flat. That's way too low. Okay? I'm playing a G on the saxophone, which if we transpose to the key of C, is a B flat. Just like the scale that I showed you guys earlier. When we had the scales on the whiteboard, and I had the bass clef for the bass instruments, and then the C for the flutes, and the B flat for the trumpets, and the E flat for the saxes. You haven't checked it out, check out that YouTube channel because it's right there, and it's called Time for Scales. That's what I'm talking about. That first note of the scale is the same pitch amongst all the instruments. A G on a saxophone is a C on a clarinet and a trumpet. A G on a saxophone is a B flat on a flute and a trombone. A C on a trumpet is a G on the saxophone. Okay, that's what transpose. That's the whole point. It's to change. Okay, in order for me to have my whole tones correctly, I was way too flat. You just saw me push my mouthpiece in. Something that I'm guilty of is not checking our tuning in the beginning of class, because I'm more worried about getting you guys able to play and getting some songs done. So that's my fault. Totally admit it. Yeah, I do need to get better. I'm always learning new things. I'm always growing. I'm always trying to improve. Okay? So that's what I need to do. When we're back in class, I need to focus more on tuning the ensemble. And I have done that a couple times. I've done it a lot more with the fourth graders last year than anything else. Oh my goodness. My computer screen keeps locking. All right. Anyways, so that's why you need a tuner. You want to play that note and keep it in the green area as much as possible. I'm going to put this one on. See that? Green on both tuners. Okay, well, Mr. C, do I need to stop and move my mouthpiece in? Because my trumpet mouthpiece don't go that much in anymore. Okay, here's the thing. Every instrument tunes a different way. Okay? Clarinet should be pretty good. If not, you need to pull the neck out a little bit. Pull a little bit of the cork out. Okay? Like if this is the clarinet, your mouthpiece, pull it out a little bit. Okay? Check the tuning though. Saxophones. This is how you tune your saxophone. The mouthpiece. You don't always want to push the mouthpiece all the way in every time you play because you could be totally sharp. The opposite of what my problem was right now. Okay? So put it in enough to where it kind of stops on its own. Okay? And that should be pretty good. I know I need to push it a little bit more. Flutes. There's two things you can do. The little knob on your mouthpiece, you can turn it to make it more flat. The little cork on the inside will go in closer. Or you can pull the mouthpiece out a little bit to make it a little sharper. Okay? Trumpets. The big, okay, so you have your, I should have a trumpet right now. You have your mouthpiece, right? And then it loops to the front, the big loop. Pull that out a little bit. That's how you tune your trumpet. Baritone horns. It's kind of the same idea. You have one of your big loops on the bottom. You pull it down to tune. Trombones. You have a loop on the back that you pull. That tunes. What else? Tenor saxes, baritone saxes, alto clarinet. The same thing. Alto clarinet, you're going to do just kind of like the alto saxes. It's all the mouthpiece. Okay? Bass clarinet, same thing. Mouthpiece. Drums, yes, you can tune your instrument. Drums can tune, but it's not something that you want to do before class all the time. Tuning a drum can be pretty time consuming, and there are special tuners to tune a drum. I've never tuned a drum before, not with a tuner, so that's something that we'd have to do in person in class. Okay, so now that you kind of know the whole point of this, the more you can keep that note steady and in the green, the more, not really muscle memory, but the more once you go to that note, you'll hear it. You'll hear what it's supposed to sound like, and you'll adjust to make it right. That's what I was going to say. Mr. C, how do I fix the tuning? Well, it's all with the mouth. If you drop your jaw a little bit while you're playing, you're making the note sharp. Why? Because when you're playing your instrument, your mouth becomes a chamber. The air is moving around in your mouth and it's going in here. If you drop your jaw like this, you can actually bend the note. Dropping your jaw is going to really make your tone flat. If you do the opposite, if you tighten up your embouchure, tighten up the muscles on your face, you will make the note a little bit more sharp. Now, do you always want to play like this? No, you don't. You want to adjust the mouthpiece. That way you have to do little effort here. But you also want to know what this correct pitch is going to sound like. Okay? If it sounds a little flat, okay, well then adjust it on your own. I'm looking at my tuner. I have it facing me right here, and it was green. There you go. And you heard, I pointed down when it went flat. Okay, when you hear that tone, when it goes, that means the tone is flat. When it's too high, that's sharp. Okay? And these are all different techniques that it's not bad. You can actually make some cool things happen if you know how to bend the pitch with the air going on in your mouth or with the muscle, with your embouchure. Okay? Like, I can make a wah-wah sound playing the sax. Okay? It's just things to know. Goodness. Screen locked again. It's like 3 or 4 times in this video. It's ridiculous. Okay, so whole tones. Don't always just stay on that note. Do a different note now. Now I'm going to do a B for saxophone. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to put this I dropped the tuna. And I can't see because my lights are off. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I got the snark. I'm going to face you guys. I'm going to turn it on. Okay, it's on. You can see the little line right there. And I still play V. So a B in concert pitch is a D. Okay? So for flutes, pianos, guitars, I'm playing a D. For saxophones, I'm playing a B because you can't see my fingers. For clarinets and trumpets, I am playing a E. E is an elephant. Okay? Because I just went up 2 notes. So C, D, E, G, A, B, 2 notes. Okay? So let's get this whole tone in tune. Think of it as a game. See how long you can hold that note at perfect pitch in the green. Okay? And do it with notes that you know. Do it with notes that are easy. If I try to jump into altissimo range and hold a high G at pitch, I'm going to have some difficulty because I don't play altissimo that high often. Sorry, I know that's probably really hurting your ears, but yeah, I was way too sharp. There we go. Other than the squeaks, that was in pitch. Okay, I can keep going higher. I can go to high A. Do I remember how to play a high A? Super sharp, but I hit the note. So that's something that I want to work on. Okay? It's the same idea. Now, like I said, I don't go in altissimo that much, so I don't have good pitch control over those notes. So something that I would want to work on is whole tones with these higher end notes. Makes sense? That way, my notes, whenever I go to play them, they're spot on and they're either really close to being in tune or they are in tune. Okay? So for you guys, start easy with something very simple. Notes that you know how to play. Notes that you already got down. And work on whole tones. You don't want wobbly waves coming from your instrument, although that looks cool. Okay? You want it steady and smooth. And another thing that I said in the video before, don't puff your cheeks. You don't have to be loud. Okay? Just play comfortably. That way, you can build endurance and play even longer without getting tired. Because if you're blowing too hard on your instrument, you're just going to wear yourself out. Probably going to give yourself a headache. You don't have to play loud to be heard. You just got to play. All right? So, with a whole tone lesson, I am Mr. C here in the place to be, Irwin Academy, C Nation Studios, and I need to protect my reed. Put the mouthpiece cover on. So, if you don't have your instrument, that's fine. This is something that you need to know because when you do get an instrument, well, this is stuff that you should practice. It's going to just make you sound even better and be a better player overall. I know these are just whole notes, overextended whole notes, and I know you can do this already, but trust me, you want to have a better sound, this is what you need to practice, all right? I'm giving you all my secrets, kind of, and I'm still learning, you know? Even though I might be a teacher, it doesn't mean that I stop learning. I'm researching different music things every day, trying to make myself even better and better and better. Not just performing-wise, but get more knowledge. That way I can share it with you guys. You know, I talked so much in class. Sometimes you guys tell me to be quiet. But I just get excited because I like sharing new information with you. Okay? It doesn't matter to me what level you are as a musician. No, because this is all going to be useful to you one way or another. Okay? So, with that being said, I am signing out. Today is August 17th, Monday, first day of the 2021 school year. Hope you guys are doing well. Music will be starting next week. Ask your teachers for my Google Class code or my class link. They should be posting it very soon. You can ask me any questions on our Google Classroom. And about instruments, I don't know when I'm going to pass them out yet. I got to talk with the people that are making the rules. It's going to be a nightmare anyways, so it might be better just to wait for instruments. If you already turned in your instrument, I'm sorry. I can't just find it and get back to you. They've all been checked in, they've all been cleaned, and they're all put away. If you have your instrument still, well, you're a lucky ducky, and practice. Anyways, when things start getting better, we will start doing more and more school-wise. Maybe we'll get the instruments to you somehow. When people start getting healthier, we'll start. Just don't worry. Just don't worry. Okay, everything will work out. Keep rocking. Don't stop the music. Whether you have an instrument or not, it don't matter. You got a voice. You can sing. You got hands. You can hit on a table or hit a Tupperware container. Whatever. Doesn't matter what you play. You're a musician. Make music and have fun doing it. This is Mr. C, the place to be, Irwin Academy. I will see you guys next time.
Got my little car popping on the wheelie. Got my motorcycle too in the garage. I'm really got my Millie Rock in the 7-Eleven. I got my car popping on the Rockport car today.